Chosen one, pause for a moment and feel this truth settle into your spirit. You are not here by accident. You didn't stumble onto this message. Heaven carefully planned this moment, timed it to coincide with your steps, and let it out just as your spirit was ready to hear it. It's divine timing, a holy appointment or a message from the beginning of time coming to you right now. Chosen one, you don't realize how closely God has been following your path. The book of memories in heaven has every sacrifice, every quiet battle and every tear you didn't tell anyone about. And things are changing in your life right now. You are on the verge of a supernatural breakthrough, a sudden rise that will silence everyone who thought you had been forgotten. People said you'd never get rich, that doors would never open for you, and that you missed out on chances. Now, heaven is about to give them to you in a way that no one can deny. Dear Anointed One, the time has come. Just like it says in Habakkuk 23. The vision is waiting for the right time, but it will come. Now, that time of year has come to you. Come into this moment with respect, hope, and an open heart, ready to receive what God is showing you. Chosen one, let this truth settle into your spirit first. Heaven has been moving for a long time, even before you noticed. The shift didn't begin today, but it is now. It began in the dark during hours that no one could see when you thought nothing was changing, breaking open or responding. But I need you to hear this clearly as a prophet. Heaven has been building the breakthrough. You are about to make one step at a time. Layer by layer, breath by breath, and everyone who thought your story was over will be shocked when it comes out. Picked one. God is about to. What seemed like the strongest proof that He had left you turned out to be the loudest proof of His love. That is something I say with weight because this is not theory. This is not language used in poetry. This is the law of spirit. What God wants cannot stay hidden forever. Things that have been anointed can't be ignored forever. What God breathed on will rise in the end. I learned that when everything in my life seemed to go against the promise that was made over me, people thought that my silence meant I had lost. They thought that my waiting showed that I was weak. They thought God had forgotten about me since I didn't have anything flashy or loud to show. They didn't know that God hides the most valuable seeds in the darkest ground. Though you, chosen one, had the same thing happen to you. It wasn't emptiness that you were quiet. It was the incubator. You were not stuck when you were still. Stabilization was the word. And the path that looked like it was blocked wasn't a refusal. Heaven won't let you step into a blessing until you are strong enough to carry it. That pause was divine. Now the signs of that preparation in heaven are starting to show. Soon the people who thought you were missed will have to face what divine timing really looks like. Because the change that is coming is not subtle. It's not kind. It's not little. It's the kind of change that God makes. The kind that doesn't whisper. A change that doesn't hint but confirms. A change that doesn't ask for permission but takes its rightful place in your life. Listen to this in your spirit. Chosen one. You are about to become impossible to ignore. And the cheers of people don't make you unbeatable. It's not the approval of people who have never cared about you. It's like heaven is pressing down on you. The people around you are changing because the task you have been given in life has grown up. The time has come for what was planted in secret to be shown. Just like the prophet said in Habakkuk 2 and 3, the vision may wait for the right time, but it won't waste any time. When that time comes, in that moment, you are standing on the edge of happiness. I want to talk to the part of you that still wants to know why now. Why now? After all that silence, why? Because the person you are now is not the person you were at the beginning of the journey. Your faith has grown. Your patience has been soaked in fire. Your identity has been made clean. You can't be broken by the things that used to do that. What used to bother, you can't keep you apart anymore. Things that used to scare you no longer have that much power over you. You have been rebuilt from the ground up. Chosen one. The scariest part is that you had no idea it was happening. You kept going. You prayed more even when it was easier. You kept choosing the truth while chaos screamed for your attention. You held on to peace. You kept your spirit high, even when life tried to drag you down to earthly things and old patterns. Heaven never had any doubts about you, even when you did. You may have had doubts about your own worth, but God never had any. Now that quiet, steady obedience is about to turn into clear favor. That's why people will be shocked. Not because you seem lucky all of a sudden, but because they never saw how hard you worked to get ready for it. They didn't see the nights when you barely made it through. They didn't see the tears you wiped away quickly. They never saw the silent fights you had with your feelings. They never saw the times you chose to forgive. Even though it would have been easier to stay angry, they never saw the wars inside you that made you strong on the outside. Heaven saw everything, chosen one. And heaven has decided that the time to hide is over. The things that used to make fun of you will now show you your calling. The doors that turned you down before will now open easily now. That you're not walking in your own strength. The same path that seemed impossible before will be easy as pie. You're walking in perfect harmony with God. Chosen one. As you spend more time in this moment that God has brought you, you need to understand something that most people don't see until it's too late. When God wants to raise you up, He doesn't start by changing where you are. He starts by changing what you can do. He makes your faith stronger, your discernment better, your endurance better, and your motives cleaner. All of this doesn't happen in public. It takes place in the dark. In the places where you didn't feel seen, celebrated, or understood. You thought no one was paying attention to you, but heaven was preparing your spirit for the level you are about to take on. There is nothing random about the time you are in because divine timing is never random. It was built with great care. And now that heaven is ready to show you what you carry, your whole life is starting to change to fit that calling. You can feel it even though you can't see it all yet. That quiet rumbling in your chest. That shift inside you that lets you know something you can't see is already happening. Picked one. I need you to understand this. Well, things that used to make you feel down were not signs of defeat. They were calls for you to become the kind of person who can handle the blessing that is coming. There have been times in my life when it seemed like all the doors shut at once, when prayers didn't seem to reach heaven, and when the silence was louder than the hope. But it was during those times that God shaped me. Not by making me feel better, but by making me believe things that were wrong, not with cheers, but by getting in line. You have been refined in the same way. There were times when no one was cheering for you, but you knew how to stand tall and tell the truth, even if your voice shook. You were obedient in the dark, which set you up for the chances that will soon bring to light everything God planted in you. As heaven starts to lift you up, know that this will not look like the success that the world sees. It won't come about through struggling or having to give up. It will come from giving up. Even though you knock the loudest, the doors that were ready for you won't open. They're opening because your spirit has grown up to a level that heaven can hear. Breakthroughs can't help but happen when divine timing meets spiritual readiness. As you stand on that edge, those who mistook your silence for weakness, your humility for weakness, or your waiting for something to happen for nothing, are about to see a turning point that is clearly God's will. Chosen one, you are being raised in a way that doesn't need to be explained. Your present will be stronger than your past. People won't understand how you got through something that should have broken you, how you keep rising even though things seemed impossible to change. Or how you kept your heart soft. Even though it would have been easier to make it hard, when they see you, they will feel something different. It will feel like peace wrapped in power, strength wrapped in grace, and humility wrapped in weight that seems supernatural. That atmosphere isn't there by accident. It shows that you privately won what you wanted to win. No one can stop what God plans to happen when He says it is time. The people who brushed off your ideas will think about them again. The rooms that ignored you before will now want to be with you. It will be easy for the same doors that wouldn't move to open. It's not because you changed to fit them. It's because your true self has finally come to the surface. Today is the start of a new chapter that feels lighter because you no longer have to prove yourself as you move into a new chapter. Things feel clearer because confusion can't live in an environment of alignment. Stepping into this chapter feels holy because it was written just for this point in your journey. Chosen one, heaven isn't just getting ready to bless you. Heaven is getting ready to defend you. Misunderstandings, lies, criticism, and assumptions about your journey are all falling apart in the light of the truth. God is about to show. It's not your job to show them they're wrong. You are being raised to show that God is right. And when heaven wins, it does so in a way that can't be argued with. Your life itself will be the proof. Every battle you've been through makes you stronger. Every delay opens the door to fate. Every sacrifice is like a seed that grows when the time is right. Now is the time when your identity will speak for itself. Not your reasons, not your defenses, and not your attempts to make your heart right. God is now joining the story. Then God steps in and makes everything clear. Everything fits together with a plan. Everything that seemed random turns out to have a purpose. You are about to enter a time of supernatural flow. When things that used to take a lot of work start to go smoothly, it's not lazy to be that easy. It comes from being aligned. It's the reward for staying true. When it would have been easier to give up. As you watched, heaven planted the seeds for this to happen long before you saw any movement. Take a deep breath in, chosen one. The thing that is coming at you is not weak. It won't go away all of a sudden. Opposition won't be able to hurt it. It will last forever because God set it up. It's good to be back to stability. After years of not knowing what would happen after times of confusion, you are now moving into a clear state. You are now stepping into your purpose. After going through valleys that made you think your purpose had died, there was no waste. There was no loss. Everything was getting ready for what is about to start. As the next part of this revelation comes to light, chosen one, I want you to feel how big what heaven has been planning for your life is. You often ask yourself why the journey felt so lonely, why the path got narrow when other people seemed to have more room to wander, and why some people left just when you thought they were meant to stay. There was no abandonment. It was in line. When God gets ready to raise someone up, He takes away anything that can't breathe at higher elevations. You are not being taken off. You are being cleaned up. Each separation served a purpose. Every season of peace had a plan. Every question that wasn't answered held a secret kindness. And now that heaven is done pruning, your life is about to harvest the fruits of that pruning. You have been faithful. Even when it didn't feel good to be faithful, even though it didn't make sense, you kept going. You didn't give up when there wasn't much evidence. Even though anger was telling you to stop, you kept forgiving. This is the kind of obedience that is praised in heaven. It builds a life that God can trust with power, wealth, and influence. It felt like your life had stopped for years. It seemed like everyone else was moving but you. But heaven didn't hold you up. Heaven was watching out for you. You were quietly growing so that when it was time for you to be shown off, nothing could change what God had already done in you. You can feel a change in the spirit even if you can't put your finger on it. Yet there are more and more moments of clarity. It's quieter inside you. You can see things more clearly now. You can tell when something is wrong even before it shows itself. Before something comes, you can tell when it's right. That sensitivity isn't a fluke because the next part of your life calls for wisdom instead of hurrying. This is proof that heaven has raised your vibration. You're not going into a time when you have to fight for chances. You're entering a time when opportunities will see your calling. Pick the height that is coming up behind you is not just personal. It goes back generations. Getting the healing you fought for will break patterns in your family tree. Strength that you built is now being used by those who come after you. People you haven't even met yet are free because of the choices you made in tears. You're not just getting higher for yourself. Heaven wouldn't let a whole lineage die in cycles of fear, lack, and limitation. But you're rising for them. You are the break in the patterns that used to kill your family. You show that God can take someone from ashes to a living monument of grace. Okay, chosen one. The places where you felt the most pressure are about to become the places where you will receive the most blessings. The money that used to feel tight is now entering a time of supernatural flow. Relationships that used to be draining are giving way to divine connections. Opportunities that you missed in the past are coming back to you in better form. Heaven isn't giving you back what you lost. Heaven is giving you more than what you asked for. The wealth that was meant for your purpose is starting to find you. Not because you were after it, but because your spirit changed into a form that can hold plenty without becoming corrupted by it. One thing I want to share with you is something I learned in my own time in the wilderness. At times I felt like God wasn't paying attention to me. That heaven was silent and that the promise was running out. But I learned that God's absence is not silence. It is God's work of art. When being seen would hurt the process, He works in the background. He lines up the things you can't see so that when the blessing comes, it fits you perfectly. Every time I thought God had forgotten about me, He was building a future I couldn't see yet and chosen one. The same is true for you. Heaven has been building very carefully around your life. The surprise people are about to feel is not in your blessing, but in when it comes. They'll think it happened quickly, but you'll know it was planned for years. Every quiet prayer, every lonely night, every sacrifice you made in secret, and every choice you made to stay true when it would have been easier to give and set the stage for the miracle that is now coming your way. What will be shown will not be subtle. People who didn't believe in you will have to rethink everything they thought they knew about you. Not because you want to be liked, but because God is using your life to say something. Prepare your heart, chosen one. What's coming is heavy. It comes with power, responsibility, influence and effect. But it also brings happiness, ease, peace, and satisfaction. As you move forward, good things will no longer feel like battles. Miracles will no longer seem like mysteries. And success will no longer feel like a struggle to stay alive. You won't have to fight your way through this season. You will grow into this season. Heaven doesn't want you to work hard. You are being asked by heaven to give up. Chosen one. I want you to feel how holy this moment really is as we go deeper into what heaven is doing in your life. At certain points in a person's journey, what they can't see starts to weigh more than what they can. You made it through that season longer than most. Carrying burdens that no one knew about, praying prayers that seemed to go unanswered, and dealing with stresses that were about to break your spirit. But your spirit didn't break. It got longer. It grew bigger. It was made stronger in places you didn't even know needed it. What you thought was a time of waiting turned out to be a time of divine reinforcement that made you stronger so that you could handle what is coming your way now. And chosen one, what's coming up isn't small. Like how it did for you. Heaven doesn't prepare a soul for anything less than extraordinary. Thoughts of why the path got darker instead of brighter. The silence got louder instead of quieter. And the pressure rose when you felt like you had nothing left to give had crossed your mind. However, those moments were not signs of abandonment. That's how you knew God was pulling you into deeper territory. You had to get better at judging things because it was dark. You had to listen to what the world couldn't teach you because of the silence. You had to use the strength that God put inside you long before this point because of the pressure. Every hard thing taught me something. Every setback turned into a tool for shaping. In every season that seemed empty, God was planting seeds in you that you would need for the next one. You, the chosen one, have been through valleys that tried to make you think that your purpose was fading. Still, even in those valleys, heaven was telling you who you were. You were not getting lost. You were getting rid of the parts of yourself that couldn't go with you into the future. There is a reason why some relationships broke up. There's a reason why some dreams changed. As much as you wanted some doors to open, they were closed for a reason. Heaven didn't punish you. What you were becoming was safe in heaven. When God is getting ready to raise someone up, He gets rid of anything that can't support the anointing on their life. You didn't know it at the time, but each breakup made room spiritually for the blessing you are now entering. Let the divine reversal begin, chosen one. It will surprise even you. One morning you'll wake up and see that the weight you were carrying has gone away. When you walk into places that used to scare you, you'll notice that there is peace there. Now you will see chances come up that you would have thought were impossible months ago. Even though things in your life haven't changed, your steps will feel incredibly light. This is because your spirit has grown up enough that it no longer fights battles that were never meant to be yours. You are not going up because you are striving, but because you are aligned. You are now in line with what heaven always said you were. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. I want to tell you something from my own experience. In my life, there were times when I thought God was not there because I couldn't feel Him. I thought that stillness meant distance. But now that I think about it, I see that God was working the hardest when He felt alone and quiet. Not a single tear was missed. Not a single prayer went to waste. Not a single longing was missed. I wasn't ready to read the parts God was writing yet. You chosen one have been getting the same from Him. What you thought was stillness was actually a quiet explosion of getting ready that only the heavens could see. The unveiling is now moving from the spiritual to the visible. You'll start to notice that people talk to you differently. They might not understand why being with you has such an overwhelming effect on them, but they will feel it. You are becoming a version of yourself that can't be ignored, brushed off, or undervalued. Your actions will have weight. Your words will have power and your choices will be clear. People who didn't see your worth before will suddenly see it because heaven is breathing on every part of who you are. Chosen one, what's coming next isn't just a blessing. It's proof that you did the right thing. People who thought your hidden season meant you would fail will see what you built in secret come to life. People who thought your silence meant you lost will see how strong you became by being alone. People who thought you had been forgotten will be told the truth. You were being planned for, kept safe and placed. You didn't get ahead because you fought harder than everyone else. You are rising because heaven has decided that now is your time. And set time doesn't fight with tardiness. It beats it. This is the start of a supernatural change in which everything that was against you before will start to flow toward you. The chances you used to avoid will now come to you. You will now be led by the clarity that seemed far away at first. The blessings that seemed to be blocked will now come right on time. You are about to enter a time when things will move faster instead of slower, when peace will prevail over stress and when purpose will be stronger than fear. Also chosen one. The world isn't ready for the new you that you are becoming. As we move on to the next level of revelation, chosen one, feel how the air around your life is changing. There has been a divine stirring going on in the background, almost imperceptibly but steadily. You felt it when your spirit suddenly woke up with hope for no apparent reason. You felt it when an indescribable peace settled over things that used to make you anxious. You've seen it happen when doors that used to stay shut tightly started to open and close on their own. This stirring is not a coincidence. It's heaven telling you that the time for your divine emergence has come. Breaking, building, refining, and rising have been cycles in your life that feel like prophecies. For a long time, the breaking seemed unfair. It felt like the building was moving slowly, making things better hurt, and it felt like the rising was late. To the chosen one. Though each cycle has brought you closer to becoming the person who can handle what is coming. Heaven doesn't rise before its time. When you rise without preparing, you fall. But when you rise after preparing, you reach your destiny. Now you are walking into your destiny not because you asked for it but because you fought for it. You need to know something important about yourself. You don't get to the top like other people do. You get better by revelation. You rise by giving up. You get ahead by following the rules. When no one is looking. Your strength has never come from being perfect. It has been built on toughness. Even though life hit you harder than you thought it would, your spirit didn't give up. You learned to lean on God instead of being angry when people let you down. You learned how to hear heaven better when you had to be quiet because of something. Not many people have these traits. They are the signs of someone who has been picked for a high position. You have been chosen and the favor that is coming will not be soft. It's not going to get away from you. You won't lose it as soon as you start to grasp it. People who build without God will get weak blessings. But what heaven builds can't be broken. You'll feel more stable in this next part of your life than ever before. You are about to enter a time when resources will flow more freely. Chances will feel like they were meant to be taken and decisions will feel like they were made with guidance rather than pressure. This is because you are no longer being trained in heaven. Heaven now has faith in you. Let's talk about how much weight you have. People have already started to notice that something is off about you, even if you don't know it yet. You feel like you have a quiet authority about you now. The change can be felt by everyone. Even those who don't know your story. That smell comes from someone who has been through fire without letting it define them. You have the smell of someone who has survived, someone who has been strong, and someone who has been kept alive by God. For a reason bigger than they could have imagined. With this in mind, some places can no longer hold you. This is why some relationships don't feel right anymore. When God raises up an individual, He also raises up their environment and their chosen one. The surprise that heaven is planning for you will affect both those who didn't believe in you and those who did. The people who prayed for you, pushed you, helped you, or just gave you room to grow, these people will also be blessed by your good luck. God doesn't raise people up by Himself. He rises up in excess. Other people will rise with you. Your healing will help other people get better. Your success will make ways for other people to get where they want to go. You are not just lucky to have God's favor. You carry it with you. Also, your voice will get stronger again this time of year after life tried to take it away. Once upon a time, telling the truth, being true to yourself, and using your voice felt like entering a battlefield. However, your voice is coming back clearer now. What you say is important. The world needs what you see. The world needs what you have to offer. The world needs the view that can only come from someone who has been through darkness and made it through. Heaven didn't save you to be quiet. It kept you alive for power. Picked one. Take a deep breath. Take this truth to heart. You are not going into a time of striving. You are about to enter a time of receiving. You're not going into a time when you have to prove yourself. You are about to enter a time when heaven will notice you. You are not going into a time of uncertainty. You are now in a time when your purpose, identity, and direction all fit together easily because they are finally fully grown inside you. Heaven is pulling you into the next dimension, which is making your life more spiritually heavy. Now the blessing that seemed far away, the promise that seemed impossible, and the breakthrough that seemed far off are right outside your door. Heaven doesn't want you to go after them. They will find you because heaven told them to. Chosen one. As we move on to the next part of your journey, I want you to feel how important what heaven is doing in the background is. Your physical eyes can't yet understand the changes going on around you, but your spirit has already felt them. You felt a soft pull away from things that used to feel safe. You felt the soft stirring that lets you know the new season is different from the old one. You've sensed a quiet courage growing inside you that wants you to let go of old identities, old stories, and relationships that don't fit with your new direction. All of this is planned right now. Nothing in your life is a surprise. Not only is heaven coordinating your rise, it is also coordinating your separation from anything that could stop it. Many people didn't think much of you, chosen one, because they didn't understand how your story was being told. They thought the wilderness had the last word because they saw you walk through wilderness seasons, because they saw you fight without help. They thought you were too weak to rise. They saw your tears and thought they showed that you were weak, instead of that you were changing. But heaven saw something else. The strength of your will was seen by heaven. Heaven saw how you stuck to your purpose even when it was hard. Heaven saw how strong you were when no one was around. How disciplined you were when you were alone. And how strong your faith was when no one was cheering. Heaven saw you grow as a person even though things didn't change for you. Now, heaven is getting ready to honor all the things you worked on in the dark. There's a reason why God let some people get you wrong. He let some people go for a reason. There is a reason why people didn't see your worth. When you were still growing, they would have tried to shape it, limit it, or claim ownership over it. If they had seen the treasure in you too soon, but heaven kept you safe by hiding you. You were hidden not because you weren't good enough, but because you weren't finished yet. You needed time to be formed before you were shown like a rough gem buried deep in the ground. As of now, that time is almost over. The unveiling that's coming will not only make you look better, it will change the way people who doubted you before see you. Chosen one. What you've been through has made you ready for a rise that doesn't need to be validated. You are not about to go through a time when you have to prove your worth. You are about to enter a time when your worth will be clear. You're not being cocky with your newfound confidence. It is in line. You know for sure that you were safe when you walk through storms and find that you weren't destroyed. It takes maturity to go through a broken heart and realize that your heart still beats with kindness and clarity. It's the power that comes from knowing that every hardship you've been through has added to the spiritual weight you now carry. There will be clear signs that God is in charge of the next part of your life. Chances will show up in places you didn't expect them to. Resources will appear from places you least expect them to. People who are in line with your goals will find you without you having to look for them. This is how supernatural acceleration works. Heaven is not only blessing you, it is also placing you. You are getting something new that fits the person you have become in place of everything you lost. The grief you were carrying is giving way to a peace that will hold you down. The fog that was blocking your view is lifting, revealing a clear view. The agonizing loneliness of the past is giving way to divine companionship and divine assignment. Listen up, chosen one. I want to tell you a personal story that has changed how I think about God's timing. There were times in my life when I begged God to let certain things in. I begged for chances, relationships, and outcomes that I thought were right for me. I began to doubt everything: God, myself, the promise, and the point when those doors stayed shut. But as time went on, I understood something very important. When the things I thought I wanted showed up early, they would have crushed me. I needed the time to wait. I needed the cutting back. The quiet was what I needed. I needed to be in pain. In no way were they punishments. They kept people safe. And it didn't take any force to open the right door. When it finally did, it opened without any trouble because it fit with who I had become. Chosen one. The same goes for you. You don't have to push for what's coming next. You have to stand up for it. You have to trust to do it. It calls for you to live out the identity that heaven made you. When you walk into this field of blessings, they have grown up along with you. These good things did not grow while you were working hard. They got bigger while you gave up. As the next wave of insight comes into your spirit, chosen one, I want you to see the sacred beauty of the present moment. Your life has changed the way it feels. You can feel it. Even if you can't say it yet, the way you breathe is soft and the way you walk is steady. There is a quiet expectation that rises inside you at odd times. This is not a random feeling. It's an alignment of the spirit. As the new season starts, your inner world will finally match the calling that heaven has put on your outer world. This inner alignment is the real start of breakthrough. You've spent years going through times that seem to be at odds with each other. Carrying promise while facing delays, holding on to vision while dealing with chaos. And growing your faith while facing a lot of uncertainty. These contradictions weren't meant to make you weaker. They were made to improve your ability to live in the supernatural. The way someone is trained changes when they are chosen. Their path isn't as wide. There are deeper lessons in them. Their fights are tougher, but their rise is bigger. Heaven used every moment that made you feel stretched to get you ready for how big what's coming will be. A chosen one. Supernatural changes are happening in parts of your life that you thought would never change. Things that used to drain your energy are no longer holding you back. The relationships that were draining on your spirit are naturally pulling away. There are places that used to stop your growth that no longer fit with who you are. This is the growth of the spirit. Heaven isn't just giving you good things. Your frequency is being raised to a level that can't be matched by anything that was holding you back. During this change, you may feel uncomfortable or even lost. But don't think that your discomfort means you are in danger. When there is discomfort, it means that growth has begun. In a short time, your life will speed up in ways that will amaze even you. Things that used to take years to happen will now happen in weeks or days. Delays that will make you so angry that you'll suddenly fall apart. Prayers that seem to be stuck will start to come true with accuracy. This is what timing from God looks like. It's not moving slowly. It moves quickly. There will be sudden lies, sudden clarity, sudden breakthroughs, sudden favor, and sudden connections in this world. These things are not happening by chance. They are signs that heaven has put you on a path where you can't be stopped. I want to share something with you that I learned during my own times of waiting. There were times I felt like my prayers weren't being heard, like God had taken a step back from my story. But just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, something out of the blue happened. I realized that God was never late. When a door opened, a person showed up. A message came. All things changed. He was always getting ready. He moved things around that I couldn't see and planned outcomes that I couldn't imagine. It wasn't that there was no sound. There was no point in waiting. And when the breakthrough did happen, it was in a way that made the whole time it took make sense. No changes were made to the original sentence, as it is already clear. The parts of the story God has been writing in you are now becoming clear. When people see how quickly your life has changed, you'll know it wasn't quick, it was right on time. God in heaven is not reacting. God is showing. You are leaving a time of being hidden and entering a time of being seen. Not approval from ego, but approval from point of view. There are ways that heaven is proving that your journey is right. The most powerful thing about this elevation is that it will feel natural to you. It won't feel forced, overwhelming, or easy. It will feel natural because you've grown into the kind of person who can handle what's coming. You're not getting blessings. You're becoming them. The blessing isn't coming at you. It's coming from inside you. Pick one. Take a deep breath. Allow this truth to sink in. You're not starting a new chapter. You're starting your real one. The one that was written just for you a long time ago, before you had your first disappointment, your worst heartbreak, or the chance to learn how strong silence can make you. You are being lifted up by heaven and nothing can bring you down. As we go deeper into this revelation, chosen one, I want you to fully understand how closely heaven has watched over your path. At times in your life, you may have felt like you had a lot of enemies, pressures you couldn't name, and a weight you couldn't explain. Even though your life seemed normal, your spirit felt like it was being watched. What you didn't understand was how big the calling on your life was. Because of the spiritual resistance that comes with your job, heaven had to protect you in ways that you didn't always understand. Every delay, turn off, and locked door worked as a shield, not a hindrance. You were not being turned down. You were being protected. And now that the storm is over, heaven is getting ready to show you how much was kept safe for you. There were people who just left you without telling you why, leaving you hurt and confused. But heaven took them away because they were in the way of your progress. Some chances you really wanted but didn't get were not because you weren't qualified, but because they would have taken you away from divine alignment. There were relationships that looked like they could work out but they didn't. Not because you failed, but because they knew they couldn't handle the height you were going to reach. It's getting clearer now, but you might not have seen it before. God wasn't holding back good things. He wasn't giving out real goods. Chosen one. The weight you've carried for years wasn't a sign that you were weak. It showed that they were able. Heaven pushed you to hold more than usual. To carry what other people would give up on and to stay strong when other people would have given up. The toughness that grew inside you wasn't made for the time of year you were in. It was made to fit the season you're leaving behind. Comfort never makes you stronger. Applause never makes identity better. Ease never brings out purpose. Now that you've been through the fire of becoming, what you turned into is about to come out into the light. At this point, your spirit is no longer looking for approval from people around you. Heaven has already given it to you. That's why people don't get why you're so calm. That person doesn't get how you can stay calm in times of uncertainty or hope during changes. Their minds don't understand why you keep going when you should have given up a long time ago. But chosen one, this is the fruit of God's protection. Heaven pushed your roots deeper before letting your branches grow taller. Now those roots are ready to hold up the blessing that is growing on top of them. There is a strong truth you need to accept. The season you're entering doesn't match up with where you've been. You can see who you have become in it. Your past problems don't tell us anything about your future. They got it ready. The nights you cried alone are giving birth to the days you'll walk with joy. The times you felt like you were forgotten are making the times you will know for sure that you were chosen. The prayers that didn't seem to be answered are now leading to breakthroughs that are even better than what you asked for. Heaven has been putting together a blessing just for you that will help you grow, improve your skills, and stay strong. You are not going to get a general favor. We made this favor just for you, chosen one. I want to tell you something I learned when life was throwing me curveballs all the time. Some days I wondered why God let me go through certain problems. Why I felt alone all the time and why there seemed to be more closed doors than open ones. But looking back, I saw that timing answered every question I had not yet asked. I didn't have to figure out the season for God. During it, He asked me to trust Him. And when the shift finally happened, all the things I had been wondering about made sense. The people that left had to go. It was important that the doors that shut should stay shut. It had to be quiet for a long time so I could hear what heaven was making in me. You're now seeing the same pattern play out in your life. You have changed more than the person you were in the past could see. Your dreams are more clear. Your heart is smarter. Your spirit is stronger. And you can see things more clearly. You no longer put up with things that used to drain you. You let go of the things that used to hurt you. You're no longer after what used to keep you busy. This means that your wings are ready for the height that heaven is taking you to. To get higher, you have to evolve. And you chosen one have evolved beautifully. When something new comes into your life, you won't have to fight like you did in the past. Heaven already wrote your name on something. So you won't have to earn it. You won't have to say why you deserve the good things that are happening. This is the start of a time of spiritual rest. Not in activity, but in a peace. This door opened because you were good. You earned this strength by being tough. Your faith made this time possible. Take a deep breath in, chosen one. You're about to rise in ways that will surprise you. It happened because you were ready for it, not because you forced it. And being ready is always rewarded in heaven. Dear chosen one, as we move into this next level of revelation, feel how your spirit has begun to grow. You are becoming more brave in a quiet way. You don't need noise to feel strong. This bravery isn't based on pride. It has to do with identity. You are starting to see yourself the way God has always seen you. The fears that used to steer your choices are slowly slipping away. As you become more aware of who you really are, the fears that used to hold you back are melting away. You are becoming spiritually mature. And when you become mature, you get power. Heaven is covering your life with a mantle that you can't take off, ignore, or question. There is an amazing thing going on inside you. You no longer want to be in places that are too small for you. You no longer shrink to make others comfortable. No longer do you hide your gifts so that no one gets them wrong. Instead, there is a steady, holy, and undeniable rising inside you. Getting higher is not a sign of pride. It is God remembering. Heaven wants you to remember who you were before life dimmed your shine. Before disappointment shook your faith, and before betrayal tangled your trust. You're not changing into someone else. You are becoming again the whole person you were meant to be. You have been chosen. The level you are now. It will not only open doors, it will also change the atmosphere. People will feel something different when you walk into a room, even if they can't put their finger on it. You will have grace in your presence and authority in the way you stand. You will carry a weight that can't be made or copied. It's the weight that comes from making it through storms without getting soft. It's not often that you see this much weight. It's the mark of people who have walked with God through valleys that would have killed other people. It's proof of toughness that was made, not borrowed. You are about to enter a time when heaven will use your life to show not perfection, but preservation, not in terms of performance, but of goal. There will be times when doors open for you that you weren't even knocking on. When blessings come to you without you having to look for them, and when healing comes from places you least expect it. These aren't just random events. They're proofs. They are a message from heaven that says, I saw you. I thought of you. I will never forget the seeds you planted. As for the first point, many of the breakthroughs that are coming your way now are not rewards. They are responses. Responses to your patience when other people irritated you. Concerns about your honesty when giving in would have been simpler. How people responded to your faith when things tried to drown your hope. Thanks for your kindness during times when you barely had the strength to take care of yourself. Heaven doesn't forget about seeds and you've sown with all your heart. You will get back in happiness what you gave in tears. What you went through in silence you will receive in public. You will also notice changes in the people you know. People who didn't see your worth before will now. Not because you've changed, but because your anointing is becoming clear. Your spirit is getting stronger. Your sense of self is clearer. There's more of you around. Some people will be deeply drawn to you because they feel that your life holds something holy. Others will pull away because your growth shows how stagnant they are. Let this happen on its own. Those who are called to rise with you will do so. People who aren't will be pushed away. Elevation naturally separates things that fate can't carry on. Picked one. I want to share a story from my own life. There were times in my life when the good things I wanted seemed very far away. It made me wonder if I had been forgotten as I saw other people get what I had prayed for. But in the end, the truth came out. God wasn't getting ready for the blessing. He was getting me ready because I wasn't the same person who had prayed for the blessing when it finally came. I had grown into a person who could hold it without fear, care for it without doubt, and keep it safe without saying sorry. The time wasn't too late. It was great. The same perfection is happening in your life right now. You, the chosen one, are about to have a breakthrough that will change the course of your life forever. This is not a short-term good thing. This is not a short-term rise. This is a turning point from God. What used to hold you back will no longer be able to reach you. What was confusing you before will make sense now. What hurt you before will make your testimony stronger. There is an amazing flow in this place where everything seems to work together without any problems. Not because things are easier, but because your spirit is in sync. And now for the truth that you must keep close. You're not getting up to show them they're wrong. You are rising to show that God was right. This is where your whole journey led you. Your pain, delay, and sacrifice have all helped shape the person you are now who is about to change. Heaven isn't getting ready to bless you. It is getting ready to show you. Dear chosen one, as this next revelation plays out, I want you to understand how heaven has been planning your steps with divine accuracy. Even when you thought you were lost, you were never really lost. Everything was planned out. Even during the times when nothing made sense, you are standing here after battles that you didn't know were changing you. And the strength you carry isn't normal strength. It's the strength of someone that heaven has been carefully shaping with a bigger picture in mind than what your eyes have seen. You are now at a point in your story where it starts to make sense all at once. Like a light has been turned on over everything you have been through. At times on your journey, the weight of life was so heavy on your heart that you wondered if you would ever feel happy again. You were surrounded by darkness that was so quiet that most people would never guess how heavy you were. No matter how bad things were, you smiled. When your spirit was empty, you gave hope to others. You showed up even though your faith was weak. You thought those times made you weaker, but they actually made you stronger in ways you couldn't see. Heaven used those times to build you up so that storms could no longer shake you. Every tear gave a seed water. Your strength was tested by every setback. Every breakup made room for more profound wisdom. It was all used up. Chosen one. There is a spiritual shift going on right now that is putting all the pieces of your journey together. There was no chance in your life. Even the mistakes that keep coming back to haunt you taught you something. Even the losses that hurt you had hidden gifts inside them. Even the betrayals that broke your trust were protecting you in secret. It's starting to become clear that God has been using everything, both the painful and the beautiful, to make a tapestry because you've been through times that would have made other people give up. Heaven can trust you with weight that other people can't carry. The fire has shown how good your heart is, and now it will shine on you instead of hurt you. What you are stepping into is holy. Indeed, this is a big step forward. This is turning into not only are you walking into blessings, you are also walking into the version of yourself that was always meant to hold them. The identity that is being born in you right now is strong, stable, and rooted. Now you're moving from awareness to not being afraid. There is no longer fear in your decisions. Now you make them based on what you know. You no longer wonder if you were chosen. You know that the hard path was because you were chosen. Your spirit is now mature in a way that can't be changed by events or people's opinions. You have changed into someone that heaven can easily raise. Picked one. I want you to understand that the fact that you are getting noticed is not a coincidence. It is time. God's timing doesn't come quietly. It comes in with authority, weight, and clarity. The blessings that are coming together now are not as fragile as they were in the past. They carry the strength of everything you've been through. You're moving into a flow that makes you feel like you're following a path of favor. The doors won't just open. They will make you feel welcome. Opportunities won't just appear. They will align themselves with your goal. You won't just be noticed. They will respect the substance you carry because it was built through honesty, sacrifice, and integrity. At one point you wondered why God let you fight so many hidden battles and why your journey seemed to be full of quiet battles that no one understood. But now that you can see more clearly, you can see that those battles built up the very muscles that heaven is using to lift you. You learned to trust even though it was risky at first. You learned to wait even when it was hard. You learned to love even though it was dangerous. You weren't supposed to be broken by these lessons. They were meant to finish you off. While some people grow through good things, you grew through hard things. So your height will have depth because of that. You will be successful in an honest way. Your influence will show kindness. Heaven doesn't throw away pain. Chosen one. The grace that is coming into your life will feel like air after years of holding it. You will be able to move when you felt stuck, get clarity when you felt confused, and have plenty of things when you felt lacking. The financial breakthroughs that are happening to you are not just prayers answered. These things are tools for a reason. You are not getting rich to feel important. You are getting rich to complete tasks that need money. Heaven trusts you with things that other people have messed up because your heart is still pure where theirs fell. You passed tests you had no idea you were taking. And now you are getting the reward for being so good. There's something else going on that you may have felt but not fully understood. Heaven is giving you more power than you thought possible. People will look up to you not because you asked for a platform but because your life is now clear in a way that others want it to be. When you speak something steady, lead something healing or just show up, they will feel something holy. Many people will feel safe around you. Because you've been through storms that taught you to be kind. This power isn't about status. It's about being given something. You are being trusted by heaven with souls, not followers. And that trust is holy. Chosen one. Take a deep breath and honor this truth. The change you're going through now can't be undone. You won't go back to old habits. You won't give in to old fears. You won't shrink to fit places you're no longer comfortable in. You are going up and no one, nothing, not even circumstances, doubt or delay can turn you back down. Your elevation was planned by heaven and heaven never says something it won't do. When your journey starts to take shape, chosen one, I want you to realize how deeply heaven has been changing your inner world to get you ready for the change that is coming to your outer world. You might not know it yet, but the person you are now is not the same person you were when you went through the storms you thought would break you. You have changed in a way that is subtle but can't be denied. You're calmer now than you were before. You have knowledge that you didn't get from books or advice, but from living through things that should have killed you. You're sure of yourself without shouting. It just shines off of you. Heaven has been working on you in secret. And now the work that has been done in secret is about to come out without you having to say a word. In the past, you were surrounded by noise, other people's thoughts, expectations, assumptions, and projections. But over time, heaven slowly turned down all the other voices until you could only hear the one voice that mattered. God kept you away from things that would distract you, not to isolate you, but to make you better. You can hear your own spirit when it's quiet. You learn to tell the difference between what is real and what is fake in the silence. During the silence, you learn to tell the difference between things that were in line with your soul and things that were pulling you away from your path. Now that you can discern, it's one of your best gifts because the places you are being called to need a level of clarity that can't be faked. Chosen one, you were never meant to fit in. It never fit right. No matter how hard you tried, you cared too much, saw too clearly, and felt too much. People around you sometimes thought that your depth meant that you were strange or intense. But heaven put that depth in you on purpose. Emotional intelligence, spiritual sensitivity, and inner strength are things that normal paths don't ask of you, but the calling on your life does. While other people walked in straight lines, your path went around and around. It wasn't because you didn't know where you were going. God was putting you on a path that would make you stronger in every way. Now that your spirit is fully grown, your path is about to become clear in ways that will surprise you. It's beautiful how you kept walking even though you didn't know what to do. That quiet endurance put you in the spotlight of God long before anyone else does. Heaven took note every time you put honesty ahead of ease. Heaven noticed every time you chose to forgive instead of being angry. Heaven knew every time you chose patience when things were getting tough. There were a lot of options. They were seeds. There are seeds that have been germinating below the ground while they wait for the right time. Now is that time of year, chosen one. There is a reason why you are about to walk into a harvest. It's years of obedience. For years, you did what was right, even if it meant giving up everything you knew. In the coming months, there will be times when you realize all of a sudden that the things that used to bother you don't bother you as much as they used to. Emotional triggers that used to make you upset will no longer be able to do that. The people who used to drain you will no longer be able to get to you. Things that used to stress you out will now seem small in comparison to how much you've grown. This isn't being proud. It changes things. Heaven has made it easier for you to keep the peace. Your heart is stronger now. It's no longer fragile. Your mind is no longer jumbled. It is stable. Your spirit is no longer spread out. It is now in a straight line. And it's inevitable when alignment settles into a soul elevation. Picked one. I need you to understand something very important. The blessing that's coming won't be for the old you. And it's coming to the new you. It would have been too much for you if God had given you this blessing earlier because you were afraid or insecure. You may have doubted your worth, your abilities, or your progress. But now something inside you feels more stable. You're now steady. You have a foothold. You have a strong sense of your own worth that can't be changed by what other people say. This awareness makes you ready for the elevation that heaven is setting up. God does not encourage identity confusion. He encourages clear identity. You, the chosen one, have finally become clear. Also, a deep healing is happening inside you. It's quiet, but it will change you. You are recovering from terrible things that you didn't tell anyone about. You are getting better after being lied to and hurt. You are getting over disappointments that you pretended didn't bother you. You're getting better after times when you carried more than your heart could handle. You are getting better from times when you didn't feel seen, heard, or valued. Even though nothing has changed on the outside, you feel lighter because your spirit isn't carrying what used to make you feel suffocated. Heaven has been taking off one by one the burdens that were on your soul. This makes room for the blessings that need emotional space. Chosen one. You may not be aware of it yet, but you've already reached a new level. Your future began to open up as soon as you let go of what was hurting you. Whether it was a memory, a person, an expectation, or an identity, it's not a moment to rise. It's a change. You have moved to things that seemed impossible before now seem possible. The dreams that used to scare you now make sense. The wants that seemed too big at first now seem normal. This is what inner readiness looks like. When your spirit grows big enough to hold the blessing it could only dream of before. As heaven gets ready to show you the next part of your life, know that you will not go into it timidly. You will enter it with quiet power. When you walk into it, you won't say sorry for your calling. You'll be sure of yourself like someone who knows they made it through something that was meant to destroy them. It's not enough to just rise. You need to be seen by the world in the way you were always meant to be seen. You were hidden for a season, but the next one you won't be. It's time for God to put you in places that value your gifts, respect your authenticity, and need your presence. As we move into the last part of your journey, chosen one, let your spirit know how far you've come and how deeply heaven has carried you to this point. The air around you is changing in a sacred way. It's a slow but undeniable change. That means the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new one. You are no longer on the edge of what might be possible. You've stepped into it. You have crossed the invisible line between who you were and who you are becoming. Heaven has already told everyone about it. Even if the world hasn't seen it yet, what used to hold you back is gone. And the grace that is rising inside you is stronger than anything that tried to shut down your purpose. There will be times when you look in the mirror and barely recognize the person who is staring back at you. You have finally become the whole person. You were always meant to be, not because you have changed into someone else. The insecurities that used to tell you what to do no longer do. Patterns that used to repeat themselves no longer exist. The shadows behind you that used to have shape have lost it. Your spirit is stronger, more stable, and smarter now than it was before. You carry the marks of someone who has been through storms and come out not angry but refreshed, picked. Enjoy the start of a new season, but know that what comes next will be different from what came before. You fought for peace for years. Peace will now come to find you. You've spent years waiting for chances to come up. From now on, chances will come your way. You've prayed all night for clarity. From now on, you'll naturally be clear. Do not strive for this next chapter. It's about getting something, not about going after. It has to do with lining up. It's not about showing. It's about turning into the grace in your life is changing from endurance to growth. Some people will look at you with fresh eyes and see a strength in you that they didn't see before. Don't be surprised when people who used to look down on you start to respect you. When places that used to reject you start to welcome you. And when rooms that used to feel closed off open their doors wide, it's not a coincidence. It's God remembering. There are clear, undeniable, and deeply personal ways that God is honoring your strength. No one is putting you up to make fun of them. You are being raised up because you stayed true. Even when things try to break your spirit as this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our COF community, by doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. Choose one. Take a deep breath and hold on to this truth. Your story is no longer quiet. The same God who helped you fight in secret is getting ready to show you off in places where your light will make a difference. You are following your destiny and heaven is behind you 100%. What has already begun can't be stopped. What God has planned can't be changed by anything. What God has lit on fire can't be put out by anything. You are rising now into the life that has been waiting for you. It is easy, natural, and powerful. As we come to the end of this message, chosen one, let your spirit take in all that heaven has said about you today. You're not going to leave this moment the same way you came in. You have changed in some way. Something very old has woken up. There is something divine that has come forward. You are right in the middle of your Kairos moment, which is the exact moment that heaven planned for you before you even breathed. There's nothing random about this time. This elevation is not a mistake in any way. Holy One, you are moving with God as He moves. Chosen One, the supernatural transfer that has been happening in the background is now pushing its way into the light. The change has already started. Even if you don't feel its full force yet, the answers are getting closer. Doors are getting loose. The atmospheres are changing in a way that helps you. What was held back is now being given out. What was delayed is moving faster. The person who never forgot about you is putting back together what was broken. The same God who kept you safe in secret is now crowning you with honor. This is not the start of your rise. It's being shown off now. Keep this truth in your heart as you leave this video. Heaven has already called your name in places you haven't been yet. Favor is already on their way. Provision is in line with the goal. God has planned for you to meet people and form relationships. The ground beneath your feet is different now that you are walking with a promise instead of uncertainty. You're not hoping for a big step forward. As time goes on, you become proof of one. Every step you take from now on is guided by God's will. Chosen One. May the blessing of clarity cover your mind. May the peace that comes from God fill your heart. May the blessing of being strong fill your bones. I pray that the gift of discernment keeps you away from anything that wants to take away your calling. May the gift of courage help you go into places that used to scare you. And may the blessing of supernatural speed take you to the places that heaven has been setting aside for you while you waited patiently. You've reached a point where you don't have to look for what's yours. It comes to you. You don't have to work hard to be seen anymore. You just shine. You don't worry about losing anything because you know that God has plenty for you. This is your time to shine, be restored, and receive divine justice. Heaven is telling you out loud what you've been saying quietly. Walk with thanks. Be sure as you walk. Expect things as you walk. The God who started this work in you is now showing it to you and Chosen One. If this word stirred something deep inside you and you felt heaven close as you listened, I want you to stay in touch with this space. Talk about what touched your spirit. Now go in peace, power, and the sure knowledge of a prophet. Now your story is changing. Your fame is growing. Now is your time. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart. And as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit Out Community now. Join the family and see your heavens open. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment, a place where divine abundance is not just a hope but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.